So let's do 2021 biology paper 1. So the first question is saying which of the following are characteristics of living things? So we have egestion and excretion, egestion and nutrition, egestion and excretion and nutrition, then nutrition and photosynthesis. So in look at this, we need to extract something which is not making sense. So we understand that egestion is part of feeding or nutrition. Then excretion is a topic. Then photosynthesis is also a topic. Nutrition is also a topic. Now, um, egestion is under nutrition, under feeding. So egestion and excretion, then excretion and nutrition. So this is our answer, in the sense that excretion and nutrition are some of the characteristics of living organism, while photosynthesis is not a characteristic, but nutrition it is. Then egestion is under nutrition, so the answer is C. The following diagram shows a detailed structure of an animal cell. So we have on D we have the ribosomes, we have smooth endozymic reticulum, we have the Golgi apparatus or body, then you have mitochondria, and of course we have cell and rough endozymic reticulum. So what you need to understand is the functions of these. So the site where proteins are being produced or synthesized are the ribosomes. Then what transport the proteins from the site of synthesis to the site of usage are the Golgi apparatus or Golgi bodies. So our answer is B. Which of the following, which of the body parts modifies and transport proteins? So that's the answer there. Then 3, the diagram shows an experiment conducted by Elena. So we're talking about the solution and the effect of osmosis here. So in the first experiment, you'll find that in this Viskin tubing, we have distilled water. Then outside here, you have salt solution. So you need to understand that salt solution is hypertonic because it is highly concentrated, while distilled water is hypotonic, meaning that it has high water potential compared to salt solution. So in a salt solution, there is low water potential, while in distilled water, there is high water potential. So according to the effect of osmosis, we understand that water moves from where it is higher to where it is lower. So here, since the potential is high, the water should move from here and comes here where it is lower. So as a result, this one will shrink and come like this. So the Viskin tubing, it is used because it acts as a selectively permeable membrane. It has very tiny pores or walls. So now, what is the correct explanation to what happens to the Viskin tubing after 12 hours? So you can look at after 12 hours, after some time, this water is being shifting from this Viskin tubing into the salt solution. So expecting this to become like this. So if it's a plant cell, so it has shrinked. So the Viskin tubing became smaller because it is porous, lost water due to evaporation, then shrank. So these are false answers completely, so you need to get rid of them. Then shrank because salt solution moved into it. Salt solution cannot go into it and become like this. So shrank because water molecules move out of it. So this is our answer. So our answer is D. The table shows the condition in 4 test tubes containing equal amount of starch. So I have starch, also have salivary amylase. In which test tube would the starch be broken down fastest? So we're looking at the pH and the temperature. So in this situation, we'll look at temperature. The higher the temperature, you'll find that the more the reaction will be very fast. As a result, the starch is being broken very fast. Now in this way, pH we have 2. The pH is 2. Now starch, salivary amylase, is found in this case. You find that it is found in the stomach, and in the stomach there is the alkalinity. So there is alkalinity pH or alkaline pH, which is starting from 7.1 to 14. So then from 1 to 6, these are acids. So starch will be broken fast in D, in the sense that at a 7 degrees Celsius, the body temperature, the enzyme is working well until it reaches at 40. After 40, it will become denatured. So in terms of graph, you find that it is doing fine, but after 40, it will now start coming down like that until it comes to 0. But again, when you put it back in the right conditions, again the reaction will start increasing. So our answer is D there. 5. 4 food samples were tested for each of the following nutrients. So fat, ethanol, so protein, burette reagent, then reducing sugar, the Benedict's solution. So which food sample contained proteins and reducing sugar? So proteins changes to purple or violet, while reducing sugar changes from yellow, orange until it reaches brick red when there is high concentration of sugar. So the colors indicate the amount of sugar which is present in that food sample testing. When it reaches brick red, it means that there is high concentration of sugar. So which food sample contains proteins and reducing sugar? So brick red, the indicator of reducing sugar. Then purple is an indicator for protein. So purple, it is ticked, which is correct, it is present, but brick red, it is absent. Now we're looking for which content. Now B, here it is correct, here it is also correct. Then white emulsion, we're not focusing on this one, so our answer is B. So this is our answer. A child is fed on beef, oily, fish, cheese, and water only. Which nutrient would be in low levels in this diet? So this is the diet. Now I want to find out which nutrient will be low in this diet. So calcium can be found also in fish, then iron as well, vitamin D and calcium, they are almost have the same function because this is in terms of strengthening the bones. So we'll go with vitamin C because vitamin C is found from vegetations. Then which of the following plant nutrient is essential for germination of pollen grains and growth of the pollen tube? So looking at the plant nutrients. So this is where the key point is. Plant nutrients. So plant nutrients, it is calcium. Boron is also used in the pollen grains and germination of the pollen tube. But in this case, we'll go with calcium because we're talking about the plant nutrients, which is common. On number 8, the following figure shows a dramatic summary of the many events in the photosynthesis. So the sun, light, energy, so this chlorophyll. So these are the conditions now. Then you find that ATP is being used here. Then process X. So you have water being split now due to the presence of the sunlight. So this process now is what we call photo because sunlight is used. Photolysis. Remember, under cell lysis on the effect of osmosis. So photolysis is the process which is taking place here for the splitting of water molecules into hydrogen and oxygen. So then hydrogen plus reactant Y to produce product Z. Then when product Z is produced, you find that ATP is used as one of the requirements here. So let's look at what can help us to understand the answer. So name the process X, reactant Y, and product Z. So in this way, looking at process X, so process X cannot be condensation. So we'll go with these two first, these two, C and D. So we cut off the first answers which are completely false, A and B. So for the lysis, carbon dioxide. So the answer is being determined here. So we need to understand the difference between glucose and starch. Excuse. So glucose is what is produced during the process of photosynthesis. Once glucose is produced, then it will be stored in form of starch. So this is the starch which you normally test for food testing. So since the process is taking place as a product, so we'll go with glucose because it is not yet stored. It's being produced. So the answer is C. The diagram shows the structure of a bread mold or rhizopus. So we have A, B, C, D. Which part releases digestive enzyme? Of course, we know these are spores. Then you have sporangamo, sporangapho, and rhizoids. So rhizoids, this is where the extracellular digestive enzyme that acts on a substrate to break down them in order to absorb them and clear the substrate. So the answer is D there. 10. Which of the following is a dental formula of a dog? So which of the following is the dental formula of a dog? So remember, whenever I find in the dental formula, just need to know how many teeth that particular animal has, then you multiply by 2. So for example, if I want to know the total number of teeth here, I'll just do like this, and then I'll multiply by 2. So meaning that I'll add 2 times, or I'll just say 3, this and this and this, then I'll multiply by 2. So this plus this plus this plus this, then I'll multiply by 2, then I'll get that answer. Then this plus this plus this plus this, then I'll add them and multiply by 2, then I'll add the total part. So dog it has 40, then humans does 32. So on this one, now we need to find a number which can help us to find the total number of teeth to be 40. So in this situation, as we know, you'll find that if you add here, for example, let's say 0 plus 0 plus 3, so up is 6. 6 times 2, I get in 12. Then this one plus 0 plus, or before that, we have 3 plus 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus, so we have 6, 9, 10 times 2, we have 20. So 12 plus 20, we're getting something like 32. So this is can refer to humans. Then, so now we check the numbers. We have 3, 0, 0, 1. It can't give us this one. 1, 0, 0. The numbers are too small than this one, and this one is less than 40. Then you also look at this 2, 1, 1, 2. Then 3, 2, 2, 1. The numbers are also small. So let's try this. This one with the good numbers. So 3, 1, 1, 4. So we have 4, 8, 10. So 10 times 2, I get in 20. I get in 40. I get in 20 plus. Then 3, 4, 8. Then by this, you find that these numbers now are matching. So the answer is D. That's how we we do. The diagram shows the human alimentary canal. So we have the mouth here, 2, esophagus 3, then you have the liver, 1, and then the small intestine 4. So in which of the body parts does peristalsis takes place? So peristalsis, the movement or the contraction of and relaxation of circular and longitudinal muscle in a wave-like manner in order to push the borders downward is called peristalsis. So in this case, when someone is chewing something in the mouth, you find that the palate, the top part of the mouth, and the tongue, they are going to roll the food you are chewing in form of like a ball like this. So this is called now the borders. So this bolus is the one that now that should be pushed down from after being chewed into this tube called the esophagus. So in the esophagus, we have two types of muscles. We have longitudinal muscles and yes, the longitudinal muscles and circular muscles. So circular and longitudinal, when the longitudinal contract, then the circular muscle will relax. So this contraction and relaxation of circular muscles is what we call peristalsis in esophagus. So meaning that esophagus can only take place in the mouth and the esophagus. The esophagus, not here. So mouth is 2, the esophagus is 3. So 2, 3. So 2, 3. So the answer is B. Which of the following chemicals from cigarette smoke reduces the amount of oxygen carried in the blood? When you pass through the incomplete combustion of fossil fuels, of anything they are burning, you find that those they produce what you call carbon monoxide. So our answer here will be carbon monoxide. The diagram shows apparatus set up to investigate the production of carbon dioxide during the respiration in insects. So you have air comes in, then they have potassium hydroxide, which will absorb the same air solution, then absorbs, yes, carbon dioxide. So carbon dioxide, they have absorbed, it cannot come out here. Then from here, I have lime water. So since carbon dioxide is already absorbed, so the lime water will have no effect, or the air which is coming here, it will have no effect because carbon dioxide has been absorbed already. And remember that talking about the identity test of carbon dioxide by using lime water. So we said it turns lime water milky or cloudy, whitish. Then here the gas will come out, and then here this insect will benefit from the same gas which is coming out. Of course, maybe it will be oxygen. Then the insect will breathe out carbon dioxide. Then the carbon dioxide will come here and find itself in the lime water. So it is this carbon dioxide here which will change now the lime water into cloudy or whitish or milky. Then in that case, we have identified that there is what we call identity test of carbon dioxide. So what changes would occur to the lime water in tube? So X and Y 5 minutes after the setting. So we understand that Y, it will have cloudy or lime water whitish. So we're looking for that in Y. So Y is here is lime water. X also cloudy. So here it can't be cloudy because carbon dioxide have been absorbed. So this part is correct, but this part is incorrect. So this is also incorrect. Then no change. So cloudy, no change. So the answer is C. The answer is C there. So which of the following is not a safe sexual practice against HIV and AIDS? It's not a safe practice. It's not a safe practice. So not a safe practice. We have abstinence, then consistency, and correct use of the condoms, the use of contraceptive pills, voluntary counseling, and testing. So not a safe. talking about contraceptive pills, those which are familiar with the pregnancy issue. The following shows a sketch of the uptake of water by a plant. So you have a leaf, then you have three, and you have four, you have two, you have one. So root area. So under the uptake of water and mineral salts, we understand that at the same point where we have the root air cell with this longitudinal or elongated outgrowth, this is where now absorption takes place. So for something to be absorbed, it means that here we have more water molecules and mineral salt. So water molecules in high concentration will move from higher region to lower region, and the process will be osmosis. Then the root air cell will shift water from here until it reaches this stream where we're going to have what we call transpiration pull. Then water will be pulled up like that. Then it will reach here. So again, from this region, water will come in this way. So here there is high concentration of water. Then it will move from where it is high concentrated and enters into here in the other cells where also osmosis can take place. Then from here, the leaf now is losing water vapor from the leaf into the atmosphere through the process called diffusion. Then water will go into the atmosphere. So this is the concept which is taking place here. So what process are represented by the arrows 1, 2, 3, 4? So when you're answering this type of question where multiple choice is given like this, first eliminate the false answers by identifying two correct points which you are sure of, to say these are the reactions which are taking place. So in this way, let's look at one. At one, diffusion cannot take place here. Diffusion cannot take place here. So these are false, automatically false. Then osmosis, okay, transpiration pull, and this one is same. Then so the answer will come from 3 and 4. So if you know 3 and 4, then the answer is correct. So 4, you have diffusion. 4, you have diffusion here. 4, you have osmosis. Of course, we'll go with D. That's how we answer this type of question. Which of the following donors, 16, would safely donate blood to a patient with blood group O? A person's blood group O. So since blood group O is the universal donor, so of course we'll go with this part. The diagram shows a longitudinal section through a human heart. So the human heart, so we are saying the opposite here. So this is the right, then this is the left of the heart. So these are ventricles. Then so you have the right atrium and the left atrium. This is the vein, which is called pulmonary vein, as the vein which is able to carry oxygenated blood. So pulmonary is the word which is associated with the lungs. Then the question, what are the chambers X and Y and blood vessels? So X, we know that it is right atrium. So X right atrium, and the answer is A, the only answer. Then Y left ventricle, then pulmonary vein. So this answer was very simple because only one part here. The diagram shows the kidney and its blood vessel. What is the name of the part labeled X? So X is the cortex. This is the renal capsule, the outside, the renal capsule. So X is the cortex. So the answer there is A. The diagram shows a human skin. Nerve ending. Okay. So what is the name of the structure they bought X? So X is what you call, so you need to check what is happening here. So here you go out, you find that you have what you call the sweat pores here. So what makes sweat pores are called the sweat glands. Compared to a hormone, a nerve impulse generally has what? So nerve impulse is fast in the response compared to a hormone. Then so fast response, yes. So we go with A and B. So we cut these out. Then widespread. Now we look at this widespread response. Then a long-lasting response. So yes, in terms of hormone. Then where hormone and nerve impulse. Where's the hormone here? Okay, so fast response compared to a hormone or to a hormone, a nerve impulse. So nerve impulse, it is yes. Long lasting, no. Then widespread response. Widespread response. So you have the same answers here and here. So the only part to consider is this part. So the answer is B. This is our answer. So a girl accidentally touches a very hot object and immediately pulls her hand away. So in this reflex action, what is the effector? What is the effector? So effector, these are muscles. Then motor neuron brings back the information from the receptor. Then the receptor. Then we'll talk about the spinal cord. Then if the information is very urgent, the brain does not take part to interpret or to transmit the information. So it's only moves into three parts. The sensory neurons. Uh, so it moves like sensory, then spinal, then motor, and motor back to effector. Then effector will carry out the appropriate response. So if the action is very fast, the brain is not taking part here. So you find that now what is the effector? What is the effector? So the effector here will be the muscles. The diagram below shows the human ear. So normally, human ear does not come normally in section. In paper 2, it's not common. On the paper 1, it's like brain. These are sensory organs. So we have the Eucasian tube. Eucasian tube works with the equalization of the pressure. So amplify sound, correct sound waves, contains air that trap particles, so equalize pressure between the middle ear and the atmosphere, yes. So the answer is D. Which of the following actions straighten the arm at the elbow of the joint? So the arm, so let's assume that this is the shoulder. From the shoulder, so we have the arm like that, then you have the elbow, so this is our arm. Okay, then you have two bones. You have ulna, then this is what you call the radius. So we want to straighten your arm like this. These are what you call the biceps. The biceps. Then these are triceps. All right, so when these contract, when these contract, then these relax. So this is what you call antagonistic action. Antagonistic action. So when you contract here, when this contract means they are going to squeeze themselves like this. So this part will start now coming in this direction. Then these will relax. When these contract now, when these contract, they will now force this one to come, this one now to come the other way around. So the contraction of biceps and the relaxation of tricep makes the hands to move up. So bicep contract, tricep relax. So the answer is B. They cannot contract at the same time. So this action is called antagonistic action. Which of the following indicates primary growth in plants? Primary, there's secondary and growth. So primary deals with length. Secondary deals with width. So differentiation, formation, increase in length of stem, then increase in the length of the girth is same as width. So the answer is C. Which of the following is not a condition necessary for germination? Oxygen, soil, suitable temperature, water. So the answer is soil. A bean seed was germinated and grown in the dark for a few days. It was then placed as shown in the diagram P. Diagram P shows the appearance of the seedling at the beginning of the experiment. So such kind of questions, just look at the statement. Okay, look at the question. What response is exhibited by the roots and shoot in the diagram? Q. So Q, root, shoot. Positive photosynthesis, yeah. Positive, positive tropism. Then we also have the negative phototropism, but it is positive geotropism. So now when we talk about this part, you'll find that this we have positive tropism, it is going to light, and then this is also positive geotropism going toward the earth. So look at the answers here. They are confusing somehow when you're not sure and careful. So roots, negative, geo. So this is wrong. We cancel this one because this one's supposed to be positive geo. Negative phototropism. It is correct because it is negative. It's supposed to be photo to light, but it's going toward. But now this part shoots positive tropism, which is also correct here. So this one, we keep it. Then shoots are roots, positive geo. Yes, it is positive because it is coming down. But the negative geo. Then positive photo. So this is wrong and this is wrong. Now we focus on B and C. So we're looking at what is happening to the roots. So we have the negative phototropism. Yes, positive photo, positive geo, but negative shoots, negative geo. So we'll go with B. Our answer is B. Which of the following methods of asexual production are unique to amoeba, yeast, and fungi? So we have binary fission. So we cancel these two first. On amoeba, because of amoeba, amoeba spore formation and budding. So binary fission, it is correct. Yeast, we don't have, so we have budding and spore formation. Then fungi, budding. So our answer here, fungi is we also look at under saprophytic type of nutrition, where you can talk about the rhizopus there. So there is also spore formation there. So our answer is A. Our answer is A. Name the following vegetative uh, structures labeled X, Y, and Z. So you have bud, then you have the rhizome, bud rhizome. So then Z is a, what is it? Z is a tuber. Z is a tuber. So the answer is B here. A cone sometimes looks similar to the the bulb. Then 29, the diagram shows the process in a plant reproduction. So you have X, anther, you have also stigma. What process is represented by letter X here? So letter X from the anther to stigma is called pollination. It's called pollination. The mode of, the mode of dispersal illustrated in the diagram here. The mode of dispersal illustrated in the diagram here. So this is like a bean. So this is what you call self-dispersal. The self-dispersal. After it explodes, which route does an unfertilized ovum or egg follow through a female reproductive system after it has been released from the ovary? So from the ovary, it's supposed to move into oviduct. So these two are the first part. Oviduct. Oviduct, uterus, then vagina. It can move oviduct, vagina, then uterus. So this is the end point where the menstruation moves out. The menstrual. So the answer is A. The diagram shows the side view of the male and female reproductive systems. Which two parts are cut and tied during the procedures called tubal ligation and the vasectomy? So talking about the cutting and tying of the fallopian tube and the sperm duct. So this part takes place, also this part takes place. So 2, 3. 2, 3. So the answer is 6. See there. Which of the following correctly identify the example of continuous and discontinuous variations? So continuous variation, these are the type of variation where there is no clear cut or distinction, where things are being built up from one position to the other, like that. Then discontinuous is whereby you're able to identify the end point before the starting of the new thing. So for example, the skin color is a continuous, in the sense that someone will be black, someone brown, then someone will be more brown until you find someone who's light in complexion. So that's a skin color. So it's about continuous. Color of eye, it is discontinuous, yes, because you have only brown eye, those who have blue and black, white. Then intelligence is a continuous, because someone will be like the way people get marks, someone will have 40, 41, 42, 43. So that is also how intelligence is. We don't know where the cut is. Then ability to roll the tongue in humans is also discontinuous. So in this way, we have identified that this and this. So let's look at now the opposite part. Continuous variation. Blood group in humans, it is a discontinuous. We have only A, B, and O, 4 types. So there's nothing like you're moving from A going into B. There's no link. So the answer there is continuous. Height is a continuous, so the answer is C. If you arrange people in a straight line, you find that the height will either decreasing or increasing. The stage, what stage of mitosis is illustrated in the figure So under cell division, mitosis and the meiosis, this one has only one stage, or yes, the other one was two, stage one and stage two. So we have what you call PMAT, prophase, metaphase, anaphase, telophase. Is also what you call cytokinesis. Cytokinesis, the the cell will be split now in this way, where we have these two, like that. So this is cytokinesis. Then when it becomes like this, from here, then it will come here. So this is what you call now the telophase. The telophase. Then at this point where the spindle fibers pull these chromatides up to their opposite, where it is called the anaphase. So this one, before this part, we move from here, then we come here. So this is what you call the anaphase. So the metaphase, these are aligned here on the equator. That's what you call the anaphase. Then the prophase, that's where they start from. So the answer here is that. Pedigree, in which some members of the family have hemophilia. So look at the key. Before you look at this one, understand the key. So triangle or rectangle, you're looking at the male hemophilic with stripes, female hemophilic, the circle. So normal, okay. So since we know now the shapes and what they are standing for, so I have a female, normal, and the male, who was it? Normal. So this female who was normal was a carrier. So the carrier are the only part which can have the child with hemophilic. So female or the male becomes hemophilic, then this one becomes normal as a female. Then this and this, they have a male child who was normal. There's no carrier in males. So a male child was normal, marries this one. Again, they have people with hemophilic. So this one was also a carrier. This one was normal. Then this is male. So male, there is no carrier. So this was a male, normal, and hemophilic male, then also hemophilic female. So B was a carrier, because carrier and the normal one are the one that can produce hemophilic and the normal. So if you want to do this quickly, you can use what you call the Punnett square, like that. So hemophilic, let's say, so small h, then capital letter, then capital letter, then y. So this is male, this is female. So here you have this and this. So have a female is normal but hemophilic carrier. Then this a normal female. Then hemophilic male, normal male. So no wonder this one becomes a carrier. So the answer is B. Which person is a carrier for hemophilic? Yes, the answer is B. Which of the following types of soil has the highest distribution of earthworms? So it is a loam soil, because this one has both nutrients which would benefit the earthworms, as well as the soil is not compact compared to clay soil. So clay soil uh, is the type of soil which is very much compacted, and this type of soil is found near the river the rivers. Then sand soil, it is too porous and it lacks two sand. It contains a lot of sands and some stones and lacks nutrients, same as silt soil. So the answer there is from soil. The diagram shows a pyramid of biomass for organisms in an ecosystem. So which organisms are carnivorous? Which organisms are carnivorous? So biomass, carnivorous, are found where? So look at the PQ. The answer is A there. Rabbits are primary consumers. The following figure shows changes in the population of rabbits after a small number was released on an island where none had previously lived. Where none had previously lived. So these are the so of A, B, C, and D. Which stage shows the birth rate was equal to death rate? When birth rate is equal to death rate, the curve does not change. It is constant. So here the curve is changing, here the curve is changing, here the curve is changing. So here the curve is constant. So the answer is C. Which stage shows when the birth rate was equal to, or the diagram shows part of the carbon cycle. So carbon in the atmosphere, fossil fuels, dead decaying matter in soil, animal compounds, plant. So we want to talk about three types of process here or two: photosynthesis and respiration, where photosynthesis takes oxygen or takes carbon dioxide from the atmosphere into the plant for the purpose of photosynthesis, while respiration, when the plant respires and humans, they take carbon dioxide back into the atmosphere, as well as when dead decaying matters um, are decomposed, they release carbon and nitrogen back into the atmosphere. Also, when you're burning fossil fuels, carbon dioxide again is taken back into the atmosphere. So combustion, as well as respiration and photosynthesis, these are some of the processes that takes place on the carbon cycle. So which letter represent photosynthesis? So we know that photosynthesis talks about CO2 plus water to form glucose plus oxygen. So our answer is C, which is taking carbon dioxide back downward here. So that is the end of our discussion for this paper. Uh, Tomorrow we'll look at another paper 2022 until we reach 2024. So for those who are revising, preparing for 29th in November, 29th July GCE exams, 2025 in November internal exams 2025, we'll keep on revising. Paper 1, the moment you understand paper 1, paper 1 will help you to understand paper 2, in the sense that as you are searching for the answers for paper 1, you'll be forced to read also other information which can help you to answer paper 2. So for today, we end here. Thank you for watching.